All right, y'all. It's been a while. It ain't nothing I can say to like. I mean, it's a list of things. I've been working since the last time I recorded, but I want to go ahead and make this my recap of 2021 is December. The last time I have been on here on quote unquote my podcast was back in May, and a lot of things has happened between May and December of 2021. I'm going to touch a lot of bases on a lot of things because I want to go ahead and just get whoever's still watching me on the same page. At this point, I've been inconsistent for a year, but to me personally, I feel like it's worth it because I spent a lot of time working on a lot of things that need to be worked on. I'm still working because there's always room for growth. But this year, I really don't think I focused on, me personally, I didn't focus on the dollar. I mean, a lot of y'all be like, well, you worked. Yeah, I worked. I did. Most definitely did. I worked and I bust my ass and I did what I had to do to get by. And I think that compared, because where I expected myself to be this year and where I was not, weighed a lot on me, but at the same time it was well needed. I also went back and actually watched some of my videos and my podcasts, and they're actually hard to watch. Like, they're very cringy and they make my gut wrench, and I do not like watching old videos of myself. They are, I don't know, over time I think I've gotten tired of watching it, or not even tired, it's just all the outsideness. That's kind of why I'm leading on to the next point, me being very closed off. In these last few months of the year, I have been more withdrawn from the media, social media, because once again, this is still fairly new to me. I've been on social media heavy for probably as long as I have been dancing, so what, 3-4 years tops. And even then, I was not even that what I was doing. It got to a point this year where I wasn't really working or doing a whole lot of collabing or anything like that, dealing with the outside world, COVID. And kind of like really just not want to be in that atmosphere. A lot of stuff, the social media just was really getting to be a lot. And in my head, I really just didn't want to believe it. I did not want to believe that it is people out here that, act like that. In my head, I psychologically couldn't accept that. But then, I had to accept the fact that it's some crazies on there now. It's some out of characters out of there. And I do realize that social media is also a playground for people that are, predators or whatever. But yeah, baby, child, yes, sweetheart, yeah, we are not going to do this. This is not what I had signed up for, because in my eyes, I really wanted, to be further in certain goals that I had. But in order to get to those goals, I also have to become a better person. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not really too beat up about it. I'm not beat up about, not getting where I need to be or where I felt I needed to be. And if anything, I'm grateful that I had time to correct and learn and grow from some of the things that have been going on in my life. I even took it a step further this year and started my fitness journey. And a lot of people have not gotten to see that because I really took it to heart. Like, my fitness and my health and my weight has always been an ongoing issue, even as a child, a young adult, middle-aged adult, whatever. It's just been an issue. And a lot of people used to be like, you confident, you moving, yeah, but sometimes it was just like they say that your weight holds bad energy. Like, it holds on to, traumas. In my personal opinion, the weight was legitimately holding me down from letting go. Like, I feel like letting the weight go was like barriers, letting barriers down. And people don't understand, when you let your barriers and your walls down, it's like a floodgate. Everything comes in, and debris, the love, the negativity, the hate, whatever, it comes in. And, you know, a couple times this year I had to step back because in that process of working out and really trying to get to the root of the issues that I have and the issues that I have with other people, it was like, whoa, like it's a lot. It was a lot for me, and it was like an ongoing battle to the point where I had to start referring to the media as the Matrix, because it's real and it's not real. It's real to an extent, but it's not. You feel me? It is. In a way it is, because a lot of people have and done a lot of bullshit on the internet, like out of spitefulness. Like, I really see people, for like now going into 2022, I'm taking you for what you show me. I'm no longer, you know, giving the benefit of the doubt with some people, because some people you can tell the ones that are really hurting, or you got some stuff going on. You can tell when it's out of a person's character. You could tell that. And then sometimes you just got to give some people some space. Don't poke, don't prod, don't sit there and, you know, beat down on somebody. Give them time, because that's what's going on. But for the rest of the people out here, truck the deuces, skip rocks, don't talk to me. Excuse me, because at the end of the day, a lot of people have really, I've really had to step back and work on my, I'm going to say my argument or my defense, because I literally just been like, y'all wild. Like, I can't believe some of y'all talking about how I act and how I be out here embarrassing. Do y'all see what y'all be doing on the internet? Now, see, Benzie, I'm about to be 26 next year. I don't have any children. I don't have any husbands. I don't have any boyfriends. You know, my personal life, I have been keeping very, I wouldn't say very private, but really private, because I don't really post who I date or who I'm dealing with, because once again, the traumas from my last relationship being on social media, like I'm cool on that. Like, that right there was, you know, the cake topper. Like, I'm cool on that. And it's not my cup of tea. Like, that one time was like, go ahead and I, you know, it is what it is. Because the experience with how people are so invested in other people's lives that it becomes borderline toxic. Like, because it becomes so unhealthy. And I literally would sit here and watch people say and make accusations and things. And it was just like, it was mind-boggling. Because I couldn't, me personally, I'll go on the internet and I'll talk stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do what I do. Everybody gonna do what they do. Everybody gonna voice their opinion. But some of the stuff y'all be saying, ooh, Lord. May the Lord be with y'all. Because some of the things that been said to me just made me, you know, really believe that some of y'all are going to hell. Wherever the hell is, or wherever the bad place is, some of y'all are going there on the first flight. Sorry to tell y'all. Because y'all, some people, to me, in this world, I genuinely believe as long as you're, you know, doing the best that you can, you're being a better person, you know, you're growing, you're not hurting nobody, you're evolving as an individual person, I don't believe that you're doing anything wrong. I tell people that I'm not hurting nobody, I'm not taking from nobody, and I'm not doing anything to put anybody in harm's way. And a lot of people come at me like, well, what about these young girls, and what about people that look up to you? What you have to fail to realize is, I sat down many years ago and thought this through. Like, I can literally sit here and paint you a description of the moment that I decided to continue and do this type of thing. I was like, what, 21 and a half, 22? And when I made the decision, it was after a lingerie party I went to that summer. What was it? 29? Was that 2017, 2018? Think about 2018, 2017. No, 2018. And, you know, stuff started getting hard. I was trying to get over a death that I was dealing with that winter, and I was trying to be a college student full time, and I was trying to work, and I was trying to just enjoy my life all at the same time, and it was a lot. And it got to a point where I wanted to maintain my independency so bad that I was willing to hustle to do what I needed to do. You know, in my eyes, I seen my parents, what they had going on as adults, and I did not want to burden them. Like, I did not want to bother them. I didn't want to be a worry. And I felt like, in my head, I felt like that was my fault. I put myself in that position because, excuse me, let me drink water. Excuse me, I missed my lip. I felt like after so many traumatic situations with different individual people about being put in that situation, like being in situations that I put myself in, you can't see the quotation marks, but put myself in, I really was really hard on myself with the independency thing, to the point it became what they call hyper independency, to the point where I was fixated on not taking help from people unless I felt like I worked for it or I earned it. And it became bad to the point where I turned to dancing because I needed help immediately, and I've done everything I could. You know, when you take out loans, you done took out loans for school, you done took loans out to have a car, you done took loans out for a lot of things. And, you know, it gets to a point where something comes out of nowhere. My car broke down. Keep in mind, I went and got my car because I needed a car and I really wanted a nice one. And being young, you don't know that you need to make sure that your car got a warranty. People, they try to convince you that a warranty is not needed to sell a car. But baby, if that motherfucker ain't on warranty, send it back. Send it back. Send it back to the streets. Because baby, they sending you home with a lemon. They sending you home with a buggy, baby. Because as soon as you drive that mountain, zoom off the road, as soon as you take that car off that lot, that's your responsibility. That's your problem. And people don't. I have had a lot of cars, a lot of hand-me-down cars. The car that I got most recently has probably been one of the newest used cars I've gotten. And it came from a car dealer. It came from a rental place, so it's only had one owner, and it wasn't drove that much. And for the price that it was, baby, I'm not complaining. I'm being responsible and doing what I need to do to survive, because I'm not gonna sit out here and live a lifestyle that I cannot afford. I've lately have been taking a lot of things out of my life because I need to really see what is meant to be there and what is going to help, and put more energy and put more money towards resources. So I'm going to invest more in my education and more in my knowledge and more in books and things like that. And I started buying my time back. Before, I had a lot of time and I didn't know what to do with it, because once again, when you have a lot of issues and a lot of traumas and a lot of pains going on, you can't function. You can't think. You can't decide what's going to be your next move and your best move if you so congested. And I was congested. Like, I had to let that go. And in this year, I have done that. In this year compared to last year, I have done that. In my previous videos, you can see that. And I'm gonna use my video as evidence of the growth. I have grown a tremendous amount, and I'm here to say that I'm happy and I'm proud of the growth that I've had. A lot of y'all don't agree with the things that I've done and the things that I do. And quite frankly, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to it. You are a full-blown correct. So with that being said, with you being correct on what you feel that you feel, why are you still here? Why are you still here? I just want to know, why are you still here? It doesn't psychologically make sense to me. If you disagree, you don't like me, and you do not agree with the way I have been formally moving or how I have conducted myself, why are you still here? Because it sounds like you a fan. Because I'm going to tell you before, it's people out here that I do not like, that I will not follow, and I will not fuck with. And that's just me personally. Now, sometimes it have been points where I've had motherfuckers that I have had bad history with, and I have to mentally squash that and allow myself to move forward in some things, because at the end of the day, holding a grudge will take you to your grave. Like, I'm not saying hold a grudge. It's all about what you allow and what you don't allow to have control. A lot of the traumas that I have experienced as a young adult and a young teen has bled over into my adulthood. And it's going to take time and more months to unroot a lot of that. I fully understand now, to the point where I had to go back and find out what I enjoyed. I couldn't even tell you what I enjoyed because I spent so much time focusing on the dollar, working, because all I wanted to do was just work. Yeah, you can work, but you can work yourself to a grave. I'm basically doing what I was doing a few years ago, working all them jobs and working this, no break, no breath, no rest, and running myself into the ground and not understanding that I will end up in the same situation I was years ago, and tired, worn out, and exhausted. You know, and I was just like, you know what? let's just wash my hands of this. Let me get up and just stomach the fact that I can come and do this. I know I can do this. I know I can record. I know I can speak. I know I can talk. I know I can do a lot of things. And the fact that I had to really step back and really tell myself what I can and what I can't do is crazy. I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, want to be on no bragging or no condescending thing, but it's some things out here that I can achieve that some people cannot. And I'm just gonna say that because I have faith in myself. I gotta have faith in myself, because at the end of the day, a lot of y'all genuinely think it's cockiness. I'm not cocky, okay? I have to speak this into the existence. This is like if a rapper is rapping, if this an actor is acting, you have to speak that into existence. And it's so many times where people speak some negativity on my name, and I focus so much on the negativity because I'm so traumatized by so many people shunning me and making me be quiet. There's been so many times where I have not had the opportunity to fully and completely talk and express my opinion or my thought or whatever I got going on, because some people don't feel like, people feel how they feel and people gonna do what they do at the end of the day. And now moving into 2022, you got a problem and you want to speak up, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna be polite and I'm gonna let you speak. All BS aside, all bullshit aside, I'm gonna let you speak. But I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly, and I'm going to tell you confidently. When it's my time to speak, just know you better have your obituary and your casket ready, because that's how sharp these words is, okay? I don't go out of my way to just argue with a mug just to be arguing with you. I don't know you, okay? You said something to me that made me want to respond. Now, if I respond, you had the right to comment, and I had the right to respond. Now, you mad because I responded back, then you shouldn't have commented. Remember, you got the right to have an opinion. I got the right to respond. Oh, you're supposed to be the bigger person, baby. My name is Benzie, and Benzie's not in the Bible, and I am not going to be the bigger person. This is 2022, and y'all still want people to sit here and be the bigger person and lay aside and let stuff slide. And no, some people need to be smacked upside their head. Like, I'm not going to cap to y'all. Y'all letting so much shit slide. Y'all let these motherfucking peddlers ride around this motherfucker like it ain't... I'm just gonna say it like that, because at the end of the day, y'all letting a lot of stuff slide. Y'all decide when y'all want to be cake crusaders, when it benefits y'all or benefits y'all entertainment or fulfill y'all boredom. But when it come down to real issues and real problems and things like that, y'all don't even put the same energy into it. Okay? I put the same energy into both. Yin and yang, there is a balance. The same way I'm passionate about arguing with y'all, the same way I'm passionate about getting to the top. Everything is with balance, and I'm learning that. I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect, and I have to sit there and tell myself that I'm not perfect and I never will be perfect. But one thing I need y'all to understand is I'm not like everybody else. If you want to take it there, we can take it there. We can do this formally. You want to do this casually or formally, because, baby, we can get it going. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get the people a show. I have spent the last several years of my life studying so many people. As an entertainer, you have to, I don't know about other entertainers, I'm going to speak on myself. You have to know what gets the crowd going, and you have to know what keeps an attention. You have to understand that what works for you. You can't go around telling that man jokes and it just don't work. You have to find what worked for you, and this is what worked for me. A lot of people don't understand this what worked for me. Even at the clubs, the way I move works for me. And eventually I will adapt and change how I move. But because certain things in the world I don't want to deal with, I don't want to talk to certain people, I don't want to associate with certain people, I will continue to move and swivel to the devils the way I want to. Because at the end of the day, you have to protect and you have to move the way that is beneficial to you, and you have to make sure that you're covering your butt. And even if you're a good person, you have to understand everybody's not like you. And I had to learn that. I had to keep relearning that. I'm still learning that. I'm going to continue to learn that. Everybody is not like me. You feel me? And things ain't going to always be perfect. Everything is not always going to get the right response. And that's okay. I have to understand that that's okay. I have to tell myself that that is okay. That is not the end of the world, because I'm the type of person that I I can say that I take L's heavy because I felt like all my life I had to do nothing but excel. Like I had to do nothing but above and beyond. And it even got to a point where my best wasn't even my 100%. It got to the point where I got lazy with certain things. Like, people have to understand that I literally was out here, what people call their best was my lazy. And that's all it is to it. It was just like, it came to me. Sometimes stuff come to me like that, and sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. But I tell people, when it come down to me and conjuring up some fire, some heat, some content, whatever I decide to put my energy and time into, it takes time, and it takes the vibe, it takes the rhythm, it takes the sizzle. Just like any actor, any story writer, anybody like that, it takes time. And I see myself being great. I see myself being somewhere where I'm going to help people. I see myself doing everything that I have spoke on and that I dreamed about. But what I'm going to tell y'all is that if we are still dealing with the same struggles that we was dealing with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34, 40 years ago, and we're still dealing with the same struggles and the same issues and the same problems that our grandparents and our parents were trying to fight for, what make you think that I ain't doing the same thing? Because it's not professional, because it's not seasoned and publicly in society acceptable. I apologize, but I will never be society acceptable. I had renounced my societyism a long time ago. I'm able to go outside and walk around and do business and talk and still be around people, and people don't treat me the way people treat me on the internet. And people be like, well, they don't know what you do. It doesn't matter what you do, because at the end of the day, you can tell a person that I've been doing business with for 6 years. You can tell a person I've done business with for 6 years about what I do, and they be like, okay. That's the same way with my family. My family, once they understand what I had going on and what my plans and what my ideas and what my goals were, they accepted it and they respected it. It ain't everybody cup of tea what I do. I understand that. I understand what some of y'all are saying, but at the end of the day, I made the decisions that I made a long time ago, and I'm an overthinker. I think of many possibilities. I have to be one step ahead of everything, and that's just me. So whatever y'all thinking about, what about the kids? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? I've already thought about it because I can't stop thinking. It'd be times where I literally will lay in bed for hours and cannot sleep because I'm overthinking. Y'all have to understand there are so many possibilities of life and movement that I go through on a daily basis. Baby, I can write a book every day if I wanted to, because that's how much I think. So I want y'all to understand. I want to let everybody know that I'm grateful for everything I got. I'm grateful for the platform I have learned to grow. I am grateful for being able to go back and learn and make mistakes and be able to move forward on things like that, because some people are not able to do that. I apologize if I hurt some of y'all feelings, but in the same breath, I don't give a fuck. In the same breath, I don't, because at the end of the day, some of y'all have done really bad things in this world, and y'all think nobody knows, and y'all think nobody has noticed. Some of y'all people out here point out other people's issues and flaws because you are doing that same shit. You doing some bad stuff out here, and you want somebody else to feel as bad as you. Well, sweetheart, you gotta understand. What you did in your deeds in your life is your demons and your ties and your sins. I'm dealing with mine. I have dealt with mine. I have accepted mine. This is who I am. I'm an outspoken individual that is willing to do whatever to sustain and guarantee my future. I'm not playing with no individual person in 2022. You cannot step to me if you're not stepping in my shoes to build the blueprint that I'm using for my future. What you have to understand is this is a modern time. Okay? I'm 25 years old. I'll be 26 next year. Y'all are still trying to use the blueprints from decades ago. I am not. I'm all about equality. I'm all about everybody getting treated right. I'm all about it. I just want people to understand, I wish I could fix the world. I wish I could do world peace. I wish I could help all the homeless. I wish I could save all the kids. I wish I could give all the dogs and kids home. I wish. But sorry, I can't. I can't. You feel me? I can't. I can't. And that's just the truth. I can't. And people think that I want to sit there and deal with that type of energy, and I'm not. I'm not finna deal with nothing that I don't want to deal with. And at the end of the day, if you, somebody, or something is something I don't want to deal with, I ain't gonna deal with that. Especially some of y'all that be claiming that y'all support me and y'all love me. Some of y'all throw money at me and then tell me to basically get over how y'all treat me. Y'all doing me how the system is trying to do me. Throw money at me and tell me to get over whatever they've done to me. Y'all are no better than these predators out here going to the courts, abusing people, and then paying people off, telling them to get over it. We got money, get over it. Y'all ain't no better. I'm here to tell y'all, before y'all check anybody on the outside world, you need to check yourself. I've been checking myself for a year, and I'm still checking myself. I'm still getting better. I'm still putting myself in positions where I need to know where I need to stand. But before anybody else come out here and think they're finna step to me, make sure you got your facts and your receipts. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to win. It's an endless and meaningless argument with me. Because there are I can name off 1,000 things that require your attention more than I do. So please, before you sit here and waste your energy, your time, and your money on Lul Benzie, please sit down and sit back and think of how many organizations, how many children, how many homeless, how many incarcerated people, how many suffering people around the world require your attention. You have to understand, I'm good over here. There are people in the world that require you, and you pay attention to the wrong thing. So I want y'all to know that between me losing weight, me getting my braces back, me growing, me mentally trying to be better, me understanding my mistakes and my traumas and trying to move forward on that, it's a lot. It is a lot. And especially if you be doing it in the public eye, it's a lot. Because in the public eye, you're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to relearn. You're not allowed to say I fucked up and I apologize. You're not allowed to, because they expect you to be perfect at every time. But what people fail to realize is, if y'all had a camera on y'all 24/7, I guarantee you every last dollar in my account that y'all would have been fucked up. And that's just how it is. So I'm telling y'all right now, I'm excited for 2022. I'm excited for the journeys. I'm excited for a lot of the things that I got going on. A lot of y'all don't understand that I'm a business owner. I am a gamer. I am an entertainer. I am a sex worker. I'm a podcaster. I'm a cooker. I'm a cleaner. I'm a dancer. I'm whatever. Because I wake up every day and I decide my destiny, because I have put myself in that position to do so. If I wake up tomorrow and I want to be a goddamn chef, so be it. I have the power and I have the opportunity to do so. And I'm going to do what I see is fit in my life. I have one life. I'm not guaranteed it tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed it at all. So with that being said, I wish y'all the best. I wish y'all go into 2021 with the best energy and the best mindset and the best everything. Because that's what I'm doing. Because I, once again, had to start over and relearn myself. And in this process, I had to reintroduce myself. And I want to let y'all know, I am the real Lul Benzie. And I am coming for everything that I work for. It's a lot, but you understand, I have to speak like I mean it. I had to put enough energy in it like I mean it. And I meant that. I'm coming through, and I'm coming to get what's mine. Don't worry about what else I got going on. Just understand, just know I'm coming for what's mine. I don't want nobody else. I just want what's mine. Now, if the shoe fit, then wear it. But I just want to tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. Please check out my websites, RasanCouture.com, www.RasanCouture.com. Lul Benzie, www.lulbenzie.com. And if you want to check out the other podcast links, www.benzieshow.com. Everything you need to know is going to be in the description box below. I'm telling y'all, with time comes greatness, with greatness come time. I'm telling you, if you give, you ain't even got to give me your time. For the people that stuck around and gave me time, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for y'all. And I want y'all to know that I'm grateful for y'all. But please, let me work, because understand there's going to be 1,000 people that don't like what I do. And I'm just making content that make me smile. If making my haters upset makes me smile, so be it. So I'll see y'all on the next podcast. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back.